Monday stream of me giving some kind of tips or kind of ideas as that how I concept art and kind of do any kind of storyboarding. So first thing to know is important is always do figure drawings. That one I just did kind of practicing a portrait, but most of these, I don't know if you can see it, are just kind of quick gesture drawings. You should always do a warm-up figure drawing. Always do like a 30-second interval. Like there's a website. I'm gonna try to show you here. Just give me a moment. Oh, hold on. Hold on. This is very professional. I'll put this aside. Dun, dun, dun. I'll definitely put the link to this site in the description once this goes on YouTube. But this is the site. Let me just go back to screen sharing. So that's what the page looks like. Present to everyone. This is what the website what it looks like. You can always pick, the modes. You can pick cover and clothing. I kind of recommend doing nude for beginners because when you add clothing to figures, it kind of changes how it looks. I mean, nude is general basis, but I kind of do all models because I want to kind of do a big random kind of thing. You can include both genders. To me, there's no preference. Then you can kind of go to class mode or standard. I go to standard. Once you go to standard, you can select 30 seconds, 60 seconds, a minute, whatever, how long you want each figure to pose. I do 30 seconds because it'll be quick and it'll be very energetic and so on. So yeah, there's that. So that site's good. It's a good resource site if you're looking for poses, because figure drawing is important. It's really one of the biggest things in drawing. If you're gonna start working on that kind of stuff, you need to do figure drawing. You need to understand figures and all that, and proportions and all that kind of stuff. Portraits is also a nice place to start. To me, it's easier. Portraits are way easier because it's you easily break it down to shapes. It's a big ovalish kind of shape. Figures to me is like the second step to difficulty. It's like you're going from a tiny little thing to the entire landscape. So you would do like a few, like if this is one, this is the back, this is one image. But I always do it on sketch paper. Never do it if you have Bristol paper. Don't do that kind of quick sketches on Bristol, because Bristol should be saved for more intentional kind of lasting forever kind of things. Excuse me. So always start doing figure drawings, quick figure drawings, kind of gesture drawings, that kind of stuff as a warm up, so you can kind of get loose. Because you always start tightened. Also, when you hold the pencil, you're always inclined to hold it by the tip. Gotta hold it here for a while, kind of like so you kind of do this. Always use your entire arm. Don't use just your wrist. So that's also key. Then if you want to get like tiny little details, then you kind of choke up on the pencil and then you use your wrist. But that's like steps down the line. So that's kind of one thing. I kind of did that in the beginning to kind of give you the taste of what that website can do and how you can use it. It's really good. It's a really good website. I only recommend using it from time to time if you need a good source of figures. So that's all I'm going to show you with that. Put this down there. But before I put on the next, the Bristol pad, I'm going to kind of show you ideas of some concept stuff. I showed you an image on my reminder video, but you'll see it again later. But I'm going to use this book as an example here, the Legend of Korra art book. Feel free to pick this up. I do recommend getting this art book. It doesn't matter which one, book 1, book 2, book 3, or book 4. They're all good. They're all really good. So I recommend getting either of those or any other art book that you might want to, that truly is good for you, or something that's truly interesting that you're interested in. Pick whatever art book you want that exists, obviously. But let me show you what I mean by kind of looking at concept characters and drawing concepts, all that kind of stuff. So as you can see in this book, I'm not sure how well it's going to pick up on the camera, but here, see how you see a different kind of costume that they went with on the right. You see, the that character with a cape, and then on this side, it's kind of like almost the final draft of what they get. But see how they kind of draw on numerous revisions on the character. Now, this is called a model sheet or a mood sheet or an expression sheet. So, since this is animation, they they tend to send it to overseas to another animator. So they kind of give them these kind of general sheets so they can kind of animate within character within model, which is important because you don't want each frame to be something different, something off model. Like you want to have consistency in art shows. Some shows kind of don't really care about that, so they're very lenient on that. I know the guy who did Kill La Kill Gurren Lagann. He had for some reason, every time he gets to episode 4, he kind of has a different animation team handle it, so it looks completely different. So that's kind of an example of how different you can make your show, because if you have different animators and you don't give them a model sheet, they kind of get loose and things might look off model or different. So that's an example for concept art in there, because they show characters, they show kind of the model sheets, they kind of show each revision of the character. So that's kind of the concept art kind of example I want to show. So I'm going to go ahead, put this away, and show you mine. Now I did this on Bristol intentionally because I kind of was drafting her up so many times in the past on the sketchbook that I just threw on the ground. But this is kind of what the design I finally settled with. Here's what she originally looked like as well. As you can see, I kind of had her hair like that originally. Didn't like it. It was a complete mess. I tried boarding with that hairstyle, and it was giving me headaches. I decided to kind of use a more simple kind of bangs kind of look for her hair, because I kind of wanted her to have this kind of seductive kind of almost sloppy kind of hairstyle, but also with some class. I kind of wanted to have kind of a good mix of that. You can kind of see in some of the drafts, I get her original hairstyle on the storyboard here, but later on I revised it to kind of get rid of that. We'll get into storyboards later. And kind of the boarding of that. But for here, I was thinking of this character. Oh, okay, I want a character that kind of has that noir esque. Because the thing is, you also want to be sure is what genre, kind of what feeling you want to get with your work. If it wants to be an adventure, if it wants to be not an RPG, if it wants to be like mythical, or if it wants to be something like that, something like depending on where you go, like where you want to go with your work, you kind of have to decide what the character's gonna look, what are they gonna wear, what style are you gonna go with. And for this particular story, for this particular comic I'm kind of putting her in, I kind of want to have this film noir type feel to it, because to me, I always like film noir. It's a very interesting genre. I know I'm not really hardcore into it. I'm not like super into noir, but I always appreciate every time it comes across like Sin City has, to me at least, a noir type feel to it. Same thing, like even like shows like Fargo. I love Fargo, but I don't know if that's exactly film noir, but it has this kind of same suspense to me. But I always like that kind of draw. And here's another example of noir right here, Batman Noir. That's a good book. But so I was like, okay, well, what is a typical thing you'd see in a noir film or something close to that, right? And, you always see this like dame that's like a main singer of some stage or whatever. So I decided to make this the main character, the main lead. So where you start in my series, they kind of start at this opera house or bar or something. So I decided to kind of draw her like a singer, made her dress kind of half revealing, because she wants the whole attention on her. So I was thinking, for this character, she wants the attention on her. So this is a great way to kind of draw attention, because you're tantalizing people with showing your breast, showing your stomach, showing you all those kind of seductive kind of parts of the body. But that's not really, that's not her everyday wear. Obviously, this is only for when she's on stage. Um, but this is also the kind of dress you would probably see in those kind of films, like in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, when they had what's her name? Roger Rabbit's wife. I can't remember her name. It escapes me right now. But it's kind of like that. I kind of thought about that character when I was creating this. I was thinking of Eliza from Skullgirls. I was thinking of like all kinds of stuff. The one thing I do like about Skullgirls, I love the art style. So that's kind of another drawing factor or inspiring factor into this comic book that I'm working on and off. So that's kind of this. We're not gonna show you. We're gonna take that page out. We're gonna turn to another day. So I'm gonna draw a concept on her in a different kind of outfit. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that for you so you can kind of see it. See it in action. 3H. So also use drawing pencils as well. They come in sets. They come separately. If you're gonna get them separately, I recommend getting 2H, HB, B, 2B, maybe 3B, then 4B. That's it. That's all you need. You don't really need to get all the way to the 4B if you want. I mean, 2B should be enough. B should be enough, but each one has kind of a different feel to it. So I'm gonna draw how she will look every day. So start with the head. Now you may not see anything because this is a light pencil. The H's are always light. I think we'll go to a HB. This is HB. And I can see that. So I'm kind of putting the form together, kind of going from general to specific, kind of start with just drawing like kind of a general shape. Um, Already I can kind of see that there might be something going on with the shoulders that might be wrong, but it's okay if you get things wrong in the first try. Never really commit to anything. Don't really be like disheartened if you're like, oh, I'm drawing this and it doesn't come out right. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Now we also be like you're trying to get a pose exactly right. Sometimes it's good to act out the pose. So like so you know where like the shoulders that you're doing like this. You're like okay, the shoulder let's go like this. Like where everything's aligned. So she's on top of her breast. Your shoulders should be kind of straight soon. Like it's a weird pose. Gotta erase that pose. Where's my eraser? There it is. Hmm. Go back to 3 so I can kind of map out where the pose is going to be. But as you can kind of see, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to draw her in kind of like a suit. Because I also want her to be kind of like a no, like she's all business as well. Like, when she's on stage, when she's off stage, she's still on business, she's still working. But at the same time, the fact that you can still see her cleavage right here, but the bottom buttons, it's open. Um, I kind of want to have this kind of still kind of this, she's using her body even off stage to kind of move along and kind of all that. So that's kind of what it is, and she's kind of like neat as well. Like her collar is perfect. It's not like bent forward or something like that. There's still kind of a organization with her, which is also important if you want to kind of like have kind of thing. But I gotta think on where I'm gonna put this stuffed arm. That's the other issue. Sometimes you trap yourself like this. This is a perfect example of getting trapped in a figure. Because if you kind of plan a pose as you go, it's not gonna turn out well. Wait, I got it. Wait a sec. Oh, well, that's still weird. Hmm. So it should be here. All right. Let's see. Clean this up. So you kind of see kind of where I'm going with this. Don't, at least I hope you do. That's kind of how I'm gonna designing her. I'm gonna design her as that kind of stuff. So always when you're drawing a figure, it's important to do a figure and a face, in my opinion. I always do the two because I want to make sure like it pose right, or the body right, at least, or at least I can visualize the body. Then I can start working on the face. On the face, I'm a little bit more lenient with when I'm drawing because I've drawn so many pieces that it's kind of second nature. But I'm gonna do it the way that I would recommend you guys doing it because I don't want to like kind of skip steps here either. So let's get started. So we're gonna. I would say also challenge yourself when you're doing portraits. Always go for the hardest one. So I'm gonna do dead on. That one's always harder for me. I don't know why. And I go like I can do sideways. Kind of do a quarter view, but for some reason when I do like a dead on like perfectly straight face, I can't like handle it very well. Like I've gotten better at it, but you'll see what I mean. So first, actually, I'm gonna get a ruler. It would be helpful to get a ruler. So I'm gonna search as I'm very professional tonight. Oh, that's on. I want to find this specific thing. Oh, there it is. Handy dandy ruler. Actually, a note card would be more helpful. So what we're gonna do is this. Also recommend doing this standing up. I'm not doing it standing up because I want to make sure that everything is on camera. But yeah, I would still recommend standing up for most of the part. Most of this you're drawing. But this is this kind of guidelines, kind of a grid, if you will, when you get to drawing a face. Because, well, fun fact: the nose, like the space here, is the same from here to here. So there's only a little bit of head that goes above that. Then you go sideways. It's basically the same. You know, it's basically the same. So I'm just drawing the lines so I know where to stay restricted. So now it's always fine to go a little bit over if you have to. If you absolutely have to, it's okay. But you obviously don't want to go like way out, you know? So again, this is kind of all important. So the other thing that some people do that a lot of people kind of recommend is do countless mood sheets. Mood sheets are basically, if you're doing a comic book, whatever, you're gonna have to draw, all these expressions for those characters. I tend to not kind of do that, but I mostly do it when it's like, a first issue of something. Like, oh, if I'm like for this, for example, for this series, I'm kind of thinking with, I would do kind of a few expressions that I would do normally, and then kind of as more issues come out, I kind of stopped doing that because to me, I never feel that when you kind of get into an emotion or like a facial expression is never actually the same. Like the only thing that kind of stays consistent are the eyebrows, but like in the eyes. But I don't know. I never feel like you kind of look the same every time you get angry, sad, that kind of stuff. I mean, you might look there might be some similarities between those things, but I don't think you're gonna look completely the same. But I digress. So this is kind of where the eyes and the nose are gonna be. So let's where the eyes. So let's draw the head. Draw. I'm going really light over this. I don't want to draw something that I'm going to be like, oh, let's get rid of it, and then I can't get rid of it. It's always important to go in lightly. Never, press down that hard on the pencil and the paper. Otherwise, you're going to be committing to lines, and that's wasting your time and a headache. So don't do that. Don't do it. And also, the other important thing you should do before you create your own character, because I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm basing this character off of a lot of other characters that I kind of liked, like Rago Kiryuin, Ragio from Kill la Kill, Eliza from Skullgirls, and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of drew studies of those characters, except for Ragio. Kind of drew her eyes mostly because I liked her. I liked how they drew her eyes. But when it came to like mostly studying, I've been doing a lot of Eliza faces. So that's kind of why she kind of looks like her, because I kind of drew inspiration from that, which is fine. But obviously, like I kind of changed the hair, kind of changed some things here and there. Obviously, I mean it's not like a complete 100% recreation of that character. That would be ridiculous. But um, people always tend to confuse like stealing a character outright and then kind of take inspiration from it from that character. Um, 'Cause I've seen so many characters like Snake from Metal Gear is based off of Pliskin from the Escape from New York movies, so they kind of look similar, actually, if you look at them, but there's slight differences to make them their own character. So that's kind of what I'm going with this. I'm not going like since Eliza is more of like an Egyptian-based character, like she has all the Egyptian styles and themes. Oh, nice. Oh, okay, sorry. They made it look like Egyptian. This is she. I'm not going for an Egyptian look for her. I have a very specific thing in mind. By the way, her name is Athena. So there you go. I got a little pull from Greek mythology because I'm Greek and I like Greek mythology a lot. So figure why not put that in my work. So let's draw the eye sockets. And it's also important that you know how to draw a human face. I know how silly that sounds, but like an actual human face. That's the one thing I will say. Like when I draw manga, like anime eyes, I can't do it because I'm used to drawing like normal sized eyes, so they're very tiny, and I can draw like tiny eyes very kind of well. As you kind of see, I can kind of get one to look like normal. I mean, you can't see it there because I'm drawing very small. So let me show you by actually drawing a decently sized human eye. How about that? How about that? I'm gonna use this. So I'll draw a circle because since your eye is a ball, it has kind of have to keep that integrity. And then that kind of reservoir, then the eyelid. And there you go. Get a nice human eye right there. Eye. There's an eye right there. The eye sees all. So let's continue with drawing the face. But that's just the one thing because if you just keep drawing anime faces, you're never gonna learn. Don't draw anime faces. Don't do that. Do that later because you need to know where these things go and make it look understand the human head because that's really the thing with anime is that they do know how to draw a human head. They understand that. It's just what they're doing is kind of simplifying the lines and kind of like drawing there, there. So like they kind of make it into like a shape, right? Exactly. But you need to understand human proportions to do that kind of stuff. I mean, I know how weird that sounds, but you can't really go into making the eyes huge and then kind of expecting that to look nice. It's not gonna look nice. It's gonna look awful. It's hard to draw anime eyes, especially, but you do need to draw this because when you understand how the eyelids work, then when you kind of draw them big, you're still drawing them as a ball. You're still drawing them like that. When you watch Samurai Champloo, they still have that kind of look. But when you look at like the very like Kill la Kill-esque, I guess, they still have that ball. Then they kind of draw them very kind of elongated. I'm not saying that I'm pro anime eye here. It's still hard even for me, but it looks something like this sometimes. It's just, you kind of do have to practice more, but it's always nice to start drawing something normal so you can always fall back on something. Because you just keep trying to understand anime eyes. You can't, if you mess up that, it's gonna look completely bad. Like this looks bad, but if I can't make that look nice, I can always fall back to a normal eye, and that will look way better. Like it'll look different night and day. You always look at this and say that looks like shit. Then you say that, but that looks nice. So I'll mostly go with that because I don't like how that looks. So I'll mostly go with that. I've been kind of getting a little more liberal with the eye sizes, um, but mostly they kind of, you know, do a lot of this kind of implied line work as well. That's the other thing that a lot of animes do is that I don't know. I keep forgetting the principle or the name of this technique, but it's kind of an implied line. Like if you draw like a chair, this is way off topic by the way, but why not? Why not do this? Yeah, I could just put this there, that there, and your brain, like there's some exercise you can kind of do, and your brain will fill in the blanks. So that's kind of the idea of anime is that when you put the nose, you could just draw the nostril holes, like the lines with the nostrils, and you'll be able to fill in like the nose, that kind of stuff. It's very implied in that way. But again, being derailed here, you're gonna start talking about so many other things. Um, so let's draw the eyes. Gonna put them nice here. So it's always nice to know that the length between the eyes are the same length. So like here, here, here. See how that works? Um, the other thing to note is what else? I was gonna say something, but I can't think of it now. Oh yeah, the eye does basically sit on the eye socket very, very well. Like just feel like where the edge of your eye socket is, and when you put your fingers, you kind of feel the bottom of your eyeball. Kind of. Don't go all the way in, obviously, but like you kind of feel where your eyes kind of sit. So kind of keep that as general reminder about that. And then the nose and the nostrils kind of go at the end of the eyes. And it's kind of have a triangle shape, kind of. So now I'm going to go in with kind of HB, kind of draw the lines that I know I want to keep. I was nice to keep a neutral face. Um, Sometimes I do kind of incline to draw a face or an expression, but always try to keep it as neutral as you can. Because then you can do the facial expressions later when you can get loose. Draw neutral so then I get used to that. Then when you draw like expressions, when I draw expressions, I usually just go fast. I just go like a madman almost. But this I kind of want to go a little bit more carefully because I want to make sure that everything looks good to me. No. Okay, so if I'm looking at, I was having doubts for a while because I was thinking it's gonna look something completely off, but I was wrong. I was wrong. I was. Glad to be wrong about that. I think the placement of the mouth is not looking good. I think it's still too low. Can I move it up? And then sometimes when I do draw out like everything that looks realistic, then I start to adjust the face just so it looks aesthetically pleasing to me. But don't start out doing aesthetically pleasing stuff until like you kind of get everything set up. Then you kind of mess around. I might want to change the eyes, to be honest. I don't want the eyes. It looks kind of sad. Well, it happens. And stuff. This eye that's bothering me. Need to change that. You're never gonna be pleased. That's much better. So much better compared to was before. It's not the best, but compared to what it was before, it was huge improvement. I think I'm gonna keep doing these kind of streams. I kind of like doing this now. So there you go. So that's how you draw a face. I'm not gonna go into much detail on expressions. I'm gonna kind of stick with this as far as an example can go, because I think that this demonstrates enough. I'll show you how to draw the eye. Ultimately, if I want you to leave, actually, I'm gonna continue shading. How about that? We always leave stuff for finish. That's me. So, gonna shade under the nose, shade here. Always start shading with 3H. Usually, like in painting, you want to go to dark to light. In drawing, to me, it's always light to dark because the darker it is, the harsher erase it is. So always go in light, kind of mark where I want the shadows to go, and then like if it's like, oh, that needs to be darker, I can go back in and make it darker. So, and never worry about committing to shadows. Now I think I'm gonna go over to pen, ink. This too thick? No, I think it's fine. Ink, so many things go wrong. And remember, you can't take things back in ink. And this is my favorite drawing, to be honest. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm really excited for this. Then we're gonna continue the rest on another stream, maybe. But we don't want to get on to storyboarding because that's also pretty important. So we'll get back to this. So another day. Because that could be another stream. That could be another discussion I could do. But let's talk about storyboarding because that is important when you want to do any medium, movies, even if it's live action. You're gonna see storyboards for that. So I'm gonna put this book back on display and tell you this has nice storyboards in it. Actually, I really like the storyboards here. So I'm gonna show you a storyboard. So there will be spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen the show, there will be spoilers, but I'll try to find the one that's like mild. So I think I'm gonna go into the first episode and show you the storyboard from there. Assuming I can find a freaking storyboard. Okay, here's the storyboard. Here you go. Now, mind you, if you're doing comics, the storyboard is not gonna look exactly like this, but look how it storyboards each frame. It sets everything up. There's staging. There's point of direction where everything's going, and there's lines saying where things are going. There's direction. I'm not sure how well that reflected on there, but you kind of see where everything is supposed to go. That's the whole point of storyboarding, so you know where that goes. So as I showed you in oh crap, that book attacked me. Oh man, that hurts a bit. All right. This is another storyboard I did. As you can see, I kind of included word bubbles, obviously, but I staged this scene where, and this is kind of a new storyboard I was experimenting with. Usually I do kind of like, I draw a page in half, then I draw like, one page on the other page. I'm really not going to do those kind of boards anymore. Those kind of boards are good. They're good boards. I think that they're fine, but I think I'm kind of getting tired of drawing boards like that. So here I kind of staged it where they're sitting at a restaurant. There's a table there. There's couches. Now we might say there's like, this doesn't look like a restaurant. It looks like a blank page. There's people sitting, nothing, right? I usually do landscape. I usually do like environment stuff later. Like I kind of handle that stuff when I'm doing the final page, the final like draft of it. When I'm actually drawing the things in place, I kind of draw the background in. Then this is just like I know it's gonna be at a restaurant. I know it's gonna be there. I mean, I have, there you go. So there's that. So I kind of here you kind of see more detail. But as you can see, like the hairstyle is the original hairstyle I drafted for her. Didn't like the hairstyle because like when I did that kind of stuff, it looked awful. I hated how that looked. It looked like shit. I mean, this looked nice. I mean, when you did like a profile, like when I did stuff like that, it looked amazing. But then I did that, and then I was like, oh, I should change that. I changed it. Oh, here we go. See, I drew this background. So that's kind of the setup I'm just gonna put in. I'm just gonna have like this nice little cozy booth that these two characters are gonna sit in, and all that. So draw that. That's kind of like the rough draft of it. Then I went back in and did more storyboards. This is the first thing that's important in comics is you kind of have to have establishing shots. You kind of have to say like, this is where they're at. A nice little, black coat. I'm gonna put that definitely in better handwriting and when I do the final thing, but it's gonna say like black coat lounge or something where this is gonna stage. Athena's gonna be right there. Put Athena's name right there. I'm made a misspelling, but ignore that. It's gonna kind of tell you like, oh yeah, this is Athena's story. We're at the Black Coat Lounge, and you kind of see this place. I might do another shot somewhere like a mini panel here of the outside. I might do that as well, kind of show how the outside looks. That's important. You want to show where you are. regardless. You kind of have to you kind of need these establishing shots because you can't assume that the reader knows where you are. So like then I boarded this. They're at the booth. She's seeing him. Now boarding. The thing that is important is that you keep it loose. I always board fast. I just go, and the reason is that you don't want to linger on a board that you're not gonna end up really using. Like unlike the boarding I showed you in that book where they actually sent those storyboards to an animation studio, then they kind of did that. Well, the way I do it is I would board it and then I would go in like on Corel Painter. If it were ever to work, I would kind of draw it in there and take my time with it. But when I'm boarding kind of general things, I go fast because I want to keep it energetic. And as long as I know what it looks like, then I'm fine. Like I know what this is gonna look like in the final product. This isn't how it's gonna look. This is just quick little things that I know. Oh, she's gonna be there, and she's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. There's gonna be a table right here. Seats there. That's what he's gonna say. There's gonna be pictures there and there, like little landmarks. So in my mind, I know where to keep track of. So it's always important that you don't have to be super detailed. Like, there, I didn't even draw her dress on. She's basically sitting there naked, but I'm gonna draw her dress in the final thing. But like, you just want to put like a general positioning where they're gonna sit. You kind of want to stage it. That's the thing. That's key. Staging is key. This is as far as details I got. I like that face. That face is pretty awesome if I do say so myself. But I kind of draw this stuff. Sometimes I do add a little detail because I want to make sure that I know that's where I want the shadows to be. If it's a drawing that I'm really excited for, that like this one, for example, I would definitely go in and add detail because I want to be sure I don't mess it up. But when it's like this, I can kind of get the general idea. So there's that. There's that example. The last example I'm gonna show you is in this book. I think they should. No, they don't. They do not. That's a shame. But like look how they stage. These pages. You know where to look. That's gonna drag your eye up there. Then you're gonna go there. Then you're gonna go there, there. There's definitely like a string that you can follow in this and that's what matters. Like lighting and shadowing is what matters. So that's the importance of boarding. That's the importance of what boarding is and what it does. You do need to know how to stage things and where you want to put the attention. At most, you want to have one point of focus. You want to make sure that there's definitely one thing that you want to direct the viewer. You can have secondary things. You can have there is a hierarchy of how many things you can have, but as long as you have one central focus, you should be good. If you add more focus, you might confuse the viewer or the reader or whatever you're going to be doing this with. You don't want to have too many things going on in one scene. That is insane. Like, there is okay. Here, you're already taken there. Then you would kind of go this way. Then you go here. I mean, you would kind of like go like in this weird shape kind of thing. But you know what that's referring to because obviously she's gonna be the most detailed thing on stage. She's the one singing. Then there's this little word panel right there, but then you have the stage, you have her sitting there, so you kind of know that she's a main character right off the bat, or a central focus point that you want to look at that. Then you kind of want to look at the stage, you want to see where you are. Like that's all. That's what matters. Like here, you're definitely going to be pointed to him. Like you're gonna look at her, then you're gonna like drag your eye towards him. So she's 1, he's 2. Table's 3. Then you go here. Here's like 1, 2, 3. That's kind of how that works. That's how staging is important. You kind of have to know where you're gonna guide the reader. It's because like there are definitely times where I board stuff and there's no focus and it looks like shit. And I hate those kind of pages when I draw them, and when I board them, because they're pieces of crap. They're a waste of time. Um, so you want to keep it, one at most, one or two points of focus, so you kind of know where the eye is going to go, and where you want to direct the viewer's attention. You don't want to just kind of draw, this thing that has flat composition. Because that's the other thing with storyboarding, is that there is a sense of composition. You kind of, excuse me. Oh wait, hold on. Was I? No, 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 no. Don't tell me I messed up. Don't tell me I messed up. I really hope I didn't mess up. Gonna see if I done goofed. Viewers' attention. You don't want to just kind of. Okay, I didn't goof. Didn't goof, guys. That makes me really, really happy. But I goofed. And that would be, because I was looking at this channel and it says you, and then it's like a black screen. So I didn't want to like talk and there'd be a black screen. That'd be awful. But so that's the importance of boarding. You kind of want to make sure you kind of tell a story and a composition that kind of directs the person where you want them to go, and not like, oh, there's this going on, there's that going on, and you don't know where to look at. I try to keep it pretty tame here. Like, this is gonna be a sign. That's a car, poorly drawn car, but don't worry, I'm gonna get a reference for it. So you kind of know what you're gonna be looking at once this is all finalized. I'm trying to look if I did any bad boarding. I don't think I did, actually. I'm surprised. I surprised myself. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about boarding. You kind of have to know where things are gonna be and keep a consistency. I used to draw comics, actually, that had no consistency, believe it or not, where I would forget where the doors were located. I forgot what room they were. I forgot the size of the building. I would just be so liberal with that stuff, and it looked bad. It looked really bad. So keep a. Sometimes what would be nice to draw a floor plan of places that you're drawing, so you know where things should be. And then sometimes maybe draw a camera referring to you and say, like, okay, I'm looking at this side, I'm looking at that side, or wherever. Just as long as you know where they are, generally you should be fine. Keep a general idea of where things are located, that kind of stuff. Keep it to a very basic kind of thing. You don't want to. You don't want to like just do stuff. Just put a lot of focus and a lot of like commotion on a board, on a page. And it's also better to not commit to boards. Don't commit to how it looks. Don't focus on like, oh, that proportion's off. You can always fix it when you're actually drawing the actual page, because that's where it matters. Because the boards I used are basically kind of a draft, a version of a draft. Because the final ultimate draft is going to be the thing I'm going to upload. So, when I draw something like this, I might change it in the final like kind of work of it when I go into Corel Painter and kind of do the final touches of it. I might change some stuff here and there. I might add something, I might take something away, something like that. But this is to give me a general idea of what I absolutely need to have on the page. This isn't stuff that's like, oh, this is just like, suggestions, but like this is like a Bible, and you have to kind of abide to what's on here. And then when you draw it, then you can start saying, should I add something? And if you want to add something, feel free to draw over the board later, but don't focus on drawing more stuff when you draw a board. If you're happy with what this looks like, I was happy with how this looks, but for all I know, I might want to add something to this, but I can't know that until I start drawing it in Corel Painter, and then I can kind of translate that. But the way that this looks, it's fine. It looks great. I like how this looks. I like how this communicates where you want to go. As far as looking at this, there's camera work going on basically. So that's pretty much the importance of boarding. You can't just throw things together and then just kind of expect that to work out. Like, like here, there's a clear sense of what is the hierarchy of each panel. Like, you know where you're supposed to look at, you know where you're supposed to go, and it's creative. You want to be creative with your boarding as well, but you don't want to draw this on the first day and then expect it to look like this. You kind of want to practice it on the boards. That's really all the boards are, is to kind of give you this practice and this idea of what it could look like. I did a few boards here, like uh, here. This is a kind of experimental board for me where he kind of has this huge panel. She doesn't have a panel, but she won't have that much detail because then it will go here. This is kind of a mild experiment I'm doing, but that's kind of the point of boarding. Go crazy, but not crazy enough. You kind of want to play on that line where you want to, where you want to go. You don't want to just kind of, you don't want to stay in one kind of look. You want to kind of keep adding and subtracting and kind of playing with that line. You really need to push yourself in these boards when you want to, like, if you want to do like a crazy action scene, you kind of have to really focus on that action. It's like, okay, well, how is this going to play out? Oh, maybe the panel is going to break out and then the character goes right through the panel, maybe. But if you draw that in the final build, it might not look nice. So then when you draw it in the board, you kind of develop a muscle memory for it, and then you're like, okay, that's how it should look. Let's see if I can make it better. Because again, boarding is kind of where you put all your ideas out on paper, where you kind of throw darts at a board and see what sticks and see what doesn't stick. I had so many boards of this particular story that I didn't like any of them. I sat there and was like, this isn't there's no cohesive thing that works or that looks intentional. It looked very sloppy. So then I would kind of go back into the board and then redraw it and see how good I can get it before I go on to the final step. Because I do say that you shouldn't commit to things. You shouldn't commit to lines. You shouldn't commit to any of that kind of stuff. But when you're doing a storyboard, there's a level of commitment you do need to put into it, but you don't marry it. Just it's like going out on a date. You want to test the waters. You want to see, kind of. Why is my whatever? You kind of want to see how it goes. Then when it gets really good, then when you actually sit there and like, wow, this looks really good, then you can move on. I hope that makes sense, because you don't want to like spend hours on a storyboard and then just kind of sit there and like, this looks like crap, and then just kind of throw it out. You kind of want to keep boarding until you see something that pleases you. But also, the thing I like about Tumblr that I learned very quickly is that since it has a 10-page limit, it helped me condense a lot of filler. That's a nice thing. Always put limits. Don't just sit there and be like, I'm gonna make like 1,000 pages of work. Only do that if it calls for it. But with Tumblr, I had 10 pages, so it's like, okay, I have 10 pages to work with. I have to kind of fit this story in 10 pages. How am I going to do that? And it really got me thinking, okay, I don't really need to have a scene. Get that out of here. But then we could have this instead, and then we could move this around, and don't be afraid of committing an entire page to a story either. Like, I have a lot of panels in a lot of these pages, but if it calls for an entire page to be one thing, it has to match the emotional pull. You can't just throw that around, because when you dedicate an entire page to something, that shows that what's going on is important. That you need to follow along. If you just but if you do that for nothing, it's gonna take that blow away. Like, Walking Dead does that a lot of the time, and that looks great. Like, when something big or emotional is happening, bam, it's one page, and it strikes you. It wouldn't have the same effect if it had all these little panels all over the place, and then that like important scene there that wouldn't add anything. So you kind of want to ask yourself, adding panels, if I remove all the panels that have this one thing, does it add anything? Does it detract from anything? Is it worth including. You kind of want to make sure you kind of put the focus on things. Where you put the focus is really where it matters, because you can look completely amateur-esque if you just kind of have all this kind of clutter going on, um, because that is awful. And that's the one thing that I'm starting to see more of in comics these days, is that now there's more of this happened in like the early 2000s, around that time, because comics used to have these very standard kind of panels and layouts. Now it's like it's so liberal and abstract that it really, really helps tell a story, and it kind of helps attract the eye, because seeing nothing but tiny little squares isn't gonna really help you. So when you have like very dynamic kind of panels going in from like one thing to another, really helps tell a story. But you don't want to have too much of that. So you kind of have to balance it. You kind of have to figure out a balance for everything. Like, here, I only did one panel because this was the main thing. This is a discussion they're having. I mean, you have close-ups with people you're having a conversation with half the time. I only do close-ups if it really merits it. And that image I showed you where, the top, like, where there's one bit, it really depends on placement, because that stuff is important. It's really important in storyboarding. You can't just throw things around. So there you go. So hopefully this was a very informative and entertaining stream. Next week's topic, I think I'm gonna kind of go over more artwork kind of stuff. I just kind of wanted to give you my ideas on how I approach storyboards and concept art. I think next week I'm going to talk more about inking, maybe, and other stuff. I mean, these topics are kind of going to be decided every week. So when I put up the next event, you will know what it's about. I'll title it, whatever. But expect them to be every Monday at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time or so. So there you go. Thanks for watching this stream, guys. Hopefully next week will be a better turnout. So, thanks for watching. Feel free to check my other videos. And hey, tomorrow's Tuesday. Very important video will be up on Tuesday, so check that out. I'm very happy to upload that. So, hopefully you enjoyed that video, and hopefully you enjoyed the stream. If you have any questions or anything that you want me to expand on or something, put in the comments below, and maybe I'll be even in part of the stream next Monday. So that's it for this stream. Thanks for watching, you guys. And you know what? I'm gonna give you a tiny homework assignment. How about that? You don't have to do it. There's no grades involved or anything. But how about you give me? I'll put the email in the description below, where you can send me your work. But how about you email me one character concept? You work on a character. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. You work on one character. Come up with a character and email it to me, and I'll go over it. I'll look at it. I might give you some tips, that kind of stuff. And I will accept entries all the way until Sunday at midnight Eastern Time. After that, I won't accept any more, and whatever it is there, I'll look over, and whatever I want to talk about will be part of that stream next Monday. So how about that for a homework assignment? You give me a character that is completely original to you. You come up with a character. I won't critique style or anything like that. I'll just look at what I have, give you some tips, and see where we can go from there. So that's the assignment for Sunday, or for next stream. Hopefully I get some really good entries. But also, yeah, feel free to post any comments in the comment section below, and I'll address as much as I can in that stream next Monday. So there you go. Hopefully this will be a fun thing for you guys. The submission email will be in the description below. So look for that if you want to know where you can email me your your submissions to that assignment, and that's it. Thanks for watching, as I said before, and hope to see you next time.